Happy Friday. Welcome back to another episode of Murder, Mysteries, and More. My name is Kaylee.
And my name is Desi.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell next to the subscribe button to turn on post notifications. Before we get into this case, we always encourage those who have useful information for any unsolved case to please report to your local police and sheriff department.
Disclaimer, video is not recommended for persons under 18 years old. It will contain offensive language and graphic details. If you are uncomfortable, click off now. We can't change the world until we change ourselves. Notorious B.I.G. Christopher Wallace, aka Notorious B.I.G. or Biggie Smalls' life was cut extremely short. Despite this, Biggie lived a big life and he had many accomplishments, but he also battled an extremely difficult life involving violence, drugs, pain, and suffering. Biggie is a well-known East Coast rapper who wasn't afraid to be honest. March 1997, Biggie was gunned down. With that being said, we will be discussing Biggie's life, legacy, and death.
May 21st, 1972, Christopher George Latour Wallace, Biggie Smalls, was born in Brooklyn, New York. Both of his parents are from Jamaica. Violetta, his mother, taught preschool, and his father, Selwyn, was a welder and a local politician. His father left when he was only 2 years old, so that meant that his mom would have to work 2 jobs in order for him to attend a private school, Roman Catholic Bishop Laughlin Memorial High School. However, Biggie would later on transfer to George Washington House Career and Technical Education High School, which Jay-Z also attended that school. At 17 years old, Biggie dropped out, and how he got his nickname was because of his size. And according to the New York Times, at only 12 years old, Biggie began dealing drugs. His mother had absolutely no idea at the time because she was too busy working. In 1989, Biggie received a 5-year probation sentence after being arrested for possessing weapons. A year later, he was arrested again for violating probation, and the following year after that, he was caught dealing crack in North Carolina, and he spent 9 months in jail waiting to be bailed out.
Originally, Biggie Smalls started rapping in his neighborhood as a teen. After Biggie left jail, he made his very first demo tape under his new stage name, Biggie Smalls. This stage name came from his childhood nickname and was also the name of a gang leader in a movie called Let's Do It Again, released in 1975. He never intended on making his music his career, as it was just a hobby for him. Biggie states at the Arista biography, quote, "It was just fun hearing myself on tape over beats," end quote. His first demo tape did reach The Source magazine, and they were quite impressed with it. In 1992, The Source magazine put his tape into the unsigned hype column. He was also invited to record songs with other unsigned artists. His demo tape caught the attention of Sean Combs, aka Puff Daddy, and Sean Combs is a AR executive and producer who worked for Uptown Records. Combs did get Biggie a record deal, but Combs eventually fell out with his boss, Andre Harrell.
But Sean Combs branded his own label in 1992, which was Bad Boy Records. Prior to Biggie's music releases on Bad Boy Records, Uptown did release all the music that Biggie recorded at his brief stint with Uptown. This would include Real Love, which was released in August of 1992, and it featured a guest verse of Biggie. However, it was under Notorious B.I.G instead of Biggie because of a lawsuit which forced him to change his stage name. In 1993, Uptown released his first single, Party and Bullshit. In August of 1994, Bad Boy released his single, Juicy. September 1994, Notorious B.I.G. first album was released. Biggie's album, Ready to Die, after only 2 months of being released, turned gold. After 1 year, the album would be labeled as double platinum. Big Poppa, the second song of the album, was nominated for a Grammy as the best solo rap performance. In Biggie's music, you can clearly tell that he was an open book. He did not sugarcoat his lifestyle one bit. Sean Combs states that in the New York Times, quote, "In the street life, you're not allowed to show if you care about something," end quote.
Insert. I love it when you call me Big Poppa. Just because I like that song. In 1993, he met the one and only Tupac Shakur. The two originally met at a party hosted by an LA drug dealer, and they partied hard and smoked. Tupac gave Biggie a bottle of Hennessy as a gift. Tupac helped inspire and mentor Biggie. Biggie did ask Tupac at one point if he could become his manager, but Tupac declined and told him to stay with P. Diddy. Tupac claimed that Combs would make him into a big star. August 1993, Biggie became a dad to Tiana. Biggie was concerned with money, so he went back to dealing until Sean Combs stopped him. August 4th, 1994, Biggie married the R&B singer Faith Evans, who was also his label mate on Bad Boy. One More Chance, the fourth single on his album Ready to Die, Faith Evans was featured. October 29th, 1996, Faith gave birth to their son, Christopher C.J. Wallace Jr. It did reach number 2 on the Billboard Top 100 and was certified platinum.
Biggie did have potential beef with Tupac. So, November 30th, 1994, Tupac was shot 5 times at an attempted robbery at a recording studio in New York. Fortunately for this attempt, Tupac did survive, but many people have conspired that Biggie and Sean Combs were behind this. What made the situation even worse is about 2 months after the incident, Biggie released Big Poppa, which featured a song called Who Shot Ya? Tupac thought that Biggie was instigating him, so he released a fire diss track 1 year later called Hit 'Em Up. He even claimed that he had an affair with Biggie's wife. In 2014 on MTV, Faith claims that Tupac hit her after recorded sessions. She says, quote, "But that ain't how I do business," end quote. September 9th, 1996, Tupac tragically lost his life after being shot. And many people believe that both Sean Combs and Biggie were responsible for the death of Tupac because the non-fatal robbery incident back in 1994, whom many believe that both Sean Combs and Biggie were involved in. Both Combs and Biggie deny all these allegations.
Here's what Biggie had to say in an interview with Jim Beam after Tupac passed. "We two individual people, we waged a coastal beef. You know what I'm saying? One man against one man made a whole West Coast hate a whole East Coast, and vice versa. And that really bugged me out. Like, yo, dude don't like me, so his whole coast don't like me. I don't like him, so my whole coast doesn't like him. It let me know how much strength I have. So what I'm trying to do now, I've got to be the one to try to flip it and take my power and flip it like, yo, because Pac can't be the only one to try to squash it because he's gone. So I got to take the weight on both sides," end quote. August 15th, 1995, Biggie released his album with Junior Mafia. Biggie was also contributed with Michael Jackson on the song This Time Around. He was also a guest on R. Kelly's track U2B Be Happy. And in September 1995, Biggie would work on his second album. However, in 1996, Biggie was arrested multiple times.
So one of these times, Biggie chased 2 autograph hunters down with a baseball bat in Manhattan. And obviously, he had to do 100 hours of community service. A few months later, police raided his home and discovered 50 grams of marijuana, 4 automatic weapons, in his New Jersey home. The same summer, he was also charged with robbery and assault on a friend of a concert promoter at a New Jersey nightclub. And in the fall, he was arrested for smoking weed in his car in Brooklyn, New York. But despite all this crazy shit, Biggie did mean well, especially after Tupac's passing. He wanted peace between both coasts, and not just for him, but for Tupac as well. However, Biggie never got to experience that because on March 9th, 1997, he was murdered. Biggie was stopped at a red light in his SUV with his bodyguard and Lil C's when another car pulled up and opened fire. Biggie was instantly rushed to the hospital, but sadly he didn't make it. And sadly, like Tupac's, Biggie's murder is still unsolved. March 25th, 1997, Bad Boy Records released Life After Death, which featured collaborations with other artists such as Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, 112, R. Kelly, and the list goes on. And it would be nominated for 3 Grammys.
Now into what many people believe actually happened, which would be that the LAPD got to him. And there's reasons why to this, of course, and a lot of people believe in this theory. But Biggie went to Soul Train Music Awards on March 7th and was supposed to fly to London the next day. However, Biggie decided to stay in Los Angeles and go to an after party at a car museum. Biggie and Bad Boy Records crew at midnight was going to head to another party in 2 separate SUVs. Combs would be in the front car and Biggie would be in the car behind him. And of course, security followed both vehicles. Biggie was stopped at a red light when a Chevy Impala pulled up on him and shot him. Less than an hour later, he was pronounced dead. The theory from former LAPD officer Russell Poole is that Suge Knight was involved and corrupt LAPD officers killed Biggie. Suge Knight was the former CEO of Death Row Records label, which it could have been a potential motive for Suge would be to avenge Tupac's death, of course. Remember, many believe that Biggie was possibly behind Tupac's murder himself. And it was discovered that LAPD officers did serve as security guards for Death Row Records.
David Mack was one of the LAPD officers. Mack did attend the party that night, and he also owned a black Impala. Apparently, Mack also had a hitman named Amar Muhammad. Amir does match the description of the shooter. This made Poole believe that Suge hired Amir to do the hit. Poole told upper management in the response, quote, "We are not going that way," end quote. A prison informant, Mario Hammonds, is one of many who believe that Suge ordered the hit on Biggie. Hammonds claims that this is what Suge said, quote, "My people handled the business. They took care of him. We just missed Puffy," end quote. In 2002, Biggie's mother, Violetta Wallace, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in response to her son's death. Eugene Dill, Combs' former bodyguard, was interviewed. Dill said that he saw this man walk up to Combs that night and he was given different photos of possible suspects. Dill pointed at Amir Muhammad's photo and said that was the guy. Lead investigator Steve Katz failed to forensically test Max Impala. He also did not interview Muhammad. Katz also supposedly forgot to turn in over 200 hidden documents from work. These documents also had another officer's name that was involved in the shooting.
However, because none of this was turned into the wrongful death lawsuit, it ended in a mistrial. In 2007, his family refiled again, but once again, it was dismissed. 2011, the FBI's file on Biggie was released and the case was reopened. This file revealed that the bullets used to kill him were Gecko 9mm armor-piercing bullets, and there are only 2 distributors in the US that sell this very rare ammunition. These types of bullets were found in David Mack's home. To 2015, Russell Poole suffered from a heart attack and died. In 2015, also, Suge Knight ran over 2 men with his car and 1 died at the scene.
Yeah.
He was a crazy man.
He was crazy.
Like, chill, my guy, chill. It's not that serious.
Yeah. Now to Reddit comments. So this is by Pulse Amplification. What's the agreed upon narrative of why Biggie was murdered? And Deleted says the most common narrative is that Suge paid his homie and blood member Poochie to kill Biggie in retaliation for Tupac shooting and for Puffy killing his homie Big Jake, which started it all. That's the most common sense one and has been agreed upon by other blood members and those who investigated the murder.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Equivalent War 6281. He was a marked man anyway. He knew what was going on with the Pac murder and even gloated about it. He just thought he was untouchable, tried to run a victory lap, and got himself killed. Very true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Wide _ pool _ 7546. A lot of people think that Keith D organized the hit on Biggie because either wasn't paid or wasn't the full amount for Tupac's murder and he wanted revenge on Puffy. Honestly, who knows?
Mick Mecca. There's no agreed upon a narrative of why Biggie died. I can tell you this though. When I was 17, I was the biggest Tupac fan ever. The day I heard Biggie died, I was ecstatic. I lived in Chicago at the time, and the beef was real. Of course, I don't feel this way now, but I can imagine back then lots of folks did it, and it didn't matter if Biggie or Puffy got Pac killed or not. You just wanted revenge for Tupac.
Milkski Mob. Unpopular opinion, but I think the person that made a fuck ton of money off Big's death was behind it. The person knew exactly where Big was at all times. That person that had Big go to LA way too soon.
Car International 1064. I heard he got killed because he was gonna expose Quincy Jones, Puffy, and Benny Medina for Pac's murder. Which is possible, and they just got to him before. Familiar ad 7273. What if CeeLo Green ordered Biggie Smalls' death? No one would suspect the soft-spoken, fluffy guy after all. I don't see CeeLo Green doing it, but that's just me.
Warba989. Exactly. People give Puff too much credit and keep letting Suge off the hook. It's clear that he was the one who hired the hitman.
Yeah, it's kind of pretty obvious.
Yeah, definitely.
No Curie 5871. You don't need a narrative to lose your life in these LA streets. You really don't, because a lot of people lose their lives in LA.
Yeah.
It's a bad place to be.
Definitely.
I wouldn't want to be there.
Nope.
Nope. Not for me.
So this one's by Deleted. Those who were around during the Biggie and Tupac beef, what was it like when they died? Did you feel like it was the end of rap? And world famous DJ Fish. To me, it felt like the end of an era, but not the end of a rap.
Loose Profession 630. I was eating a gourmet frozen dinner when I turned on Hot 97 and heard that Biggie died. It was surreal, and I wasn't into It was surreal, and I wasn't into rap back then, but I understood the magnitude that came with the top dog on the East Coast dying after the top dog on the West Coast did. Being from New York, you already know people were feeling how they were feeling about California after that. Very true. I'm sure they were very, skeptical after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure most of the celebrities did not want to go to LA after that.
Probably not.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that
It's
was
a little
a
weird.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Tikashi Mandela. I remember when Big passed away, I was in kindergarten. I remember waking up to get ready and my mom picked me up on the phone and said, Biggie died, and then she ran to the radio. It was early in the morning. I remember hearing Angie Martinez crying hysterical and yelling about something. I do remember his funeral, which was super packed with people, and hearing We'll Always Love Big Poppa when it dropped. They played it all over NYC. Wasn't the end of rap though, because Mo Money, Mo Problems, and I'll Be Missing You dropped, and people went back to party.
Yeah, more money, more problems.
Yep.
That's the song, my guy. A competitive fee 58.29. I am 46 and I remember him getting shot and everything, thinking he would pull through and be fine. So we were shocked when he actually died, and no, it did not feel like the end of rap when either of them died. There was still so much music at that time, flashback to that time period, but who remembers the Above the Rim in the show soundtrack? From the later 90s, but I do know some like early 90s hits, so, but not
Yeah.
those. But you're right. It just opened the door for more artists to come in after
It
that.
did, yeah. I mean, it's tragic what happened, but it did open up more opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of like artists nowadays are still very inspired by Biggie and Tupac.
Yeah.
So,
And then master underscore great 5931. I was also a big fan of Kurt Cobain and Eazy-E fan, so not a good few years.
yeah.
Yep. Own underscore experience 8229. Sad about Tupac because we could see it coming. Tupac was fucking around and people noticed. When Biggie died, my friends and I were more angry than sad, but nobody thought it was the end of rap. There were too many great artists back then. Go back and listen to all the good shit from the era and you'll hear why nobody was worried.
Curious 8598. It was shocking considering Tupac survived the previous shooting. Yeah, that was pretty shocking. You would think he was
Yeah.
invincible. That's not how that works, though.
No.
Mm-mm.
You think you're invincible, but you're not.
Yeah, you can die. This is not GTA where you can just die and start over.
Yeah, can't respawn. So this is by Slurricane Issa Wood. What's your dopest Biggie track that slept on? Deleted. He ain't got too many records, so he ain't got too many that slept on, but on Ready to Die, Everyday Struggle is underrated. On Life, after all, the hardcore tracks are timeless, but Long Kiss Goodnight is the best.
Fair enough. CPFB 15. Machine Gun Funk is so good, especially the original cut. Fuck the remaster.
It's
Accurate.
Slurricane Eastwood says, all I want is bitches, big booty bitches.
Sports Rock 15 used to pack gats so I could stack my rich. Facts.
Cries MYO Suicidal Thoughts.
That one's a really good one too, actually.
Yeah.
My favorite is Big Poppa. I don't know what it is with that song, but it just hits. Like, oh yeah, this one. Various Watercress 9. Gimme the loot.
Sky
I do
God
like that one.
Alien. I like that name. That Ron G mixtape intro. Keep a shoddy by the shower if you want to shoot me while I'm shitting. Woo, he went on that shit. That's when I thought he was at his peak. Hail Mary, fuck her. I'll never knew her. I'll probably screw her and dump her body in the fucking sewer raw.
Bro, I forgot about that.
Yo.
Jesus. The realist 10 crack commandments. I swear about that. Just kidding. Oh yeah. CZJG, Notorious Thugs. I love that he switched his flow to match Bone Thugs. Yeah. That's another sub-dom one for sure. Happy Ninja, you're nobody till somebody kills you. This one says, fucking you tonight.
Hey. Wink, wink.
We'll talk about this later. 24-year-old Biggie Smalls was living life in the fast lane until he unfortunately lost his life in March 1997. Biggie Smalls dominated the East Coast rap scene. March 18th, 1997, a funeral was held in Rank E. Campbell Funeral Chapel where over 350 guests and many high prolific artists attended. I'll Be Missing You, a single from Puff Daddy's album No Way Out, was released in honor of Biggie's legacy. Through it all, Biggie left a big mark on this world. Thank you for listening, and like always, remember to keep your eyes open because there's some shady people out there.